Okay, right, welcome to another cook along with Young Shrewsbury. I'm Adam Pennell, and today we're going to make some Spanish tapas. So I'm going to show you how to make some really tasty paprika chicken wings. We're going to make a tortilla española, which is essentially a potato and onion omelette, and we're going to make a real fresh, nice, simple salsa to go with that as well. Okay, so first thing I need you to do is go to your oven, get your oven on for 200 degrees. You want it really hot, okay? Get the oven on. Once you're back, then you need to get your chicken wings. So take your pack of chicken wings, I'm just going to pop those open there. And this is a really simple but tasty dish, right? So chicken wings, if you like roast chicken, yeah? The nicest bit of a roast chicken is having a crispy skin. And so when I do chicken wings, if I'm going to do them in the oven, I often do them on the barbecue, but if I'm going to do them in the oven, I don't put any wet marinade on them. A lot of people put wet marinade on. Doesn't really work. Well, it can work, okay? But you're going to end up with sort of soft chicken wings. These should be nice and crunchy. So just literally empty the whole pack, whoops, trying to be smart there, into a baking tray, okay? Next, you're going to take about 2 tablespoons of salt. You do need a bit of salt for this, okay? I'm just going to sprinkle them all over, okay? Now, depending on how hot you like it, I'm going to put some chili powder in. My kids are going to be eating this, so I'm only going to put for maybe half a teaspoon of chili powder, and try not to put it all in one place. Try and shake it all over the wings. But then paprika isn't actually hot, or usually you can get hot paprika, but generally paprika, I'm using smoked paprika today, isn't that hot. So you can use a lot of it. Gives you good colour, but more importantly, bags of flavour. Right. So I'm going to go for about 1.5 teaspoons of paprika. Easy. Okay, I'm going to go for about 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Again, this is going to give you some heat, so you don't go too mad with that if you don't like it too hot. Okay. And we're going to go in with some, what's missing? I've forgotten something. Oh yes, some mixed herbs. Okay, so just a little bit of herbs. Herbs and chicken work really well together. Just dried mixed herbs. Real simple. Okay, going to give that a little drizzle of oil. Okay, maybe like a tablespoon, half a tablespoon. Okay, then get your sleeves rolled up. You can get your hands in there, right? And what I want you to do is massage that chicken so that every last inch of the skin is coated in those spices, and they all look evenly covered. Right? What you don't want is some of them to look like they're absolutely murdered in paprika and the others look anemic, right? You want to make sure that they're all covered. Okay, like so. Like that, alright? And then evenly space them out. And what I like to do is make sure that, so you'll see you've got a smooth skin size and then the underneath bit. If you get them all facing one way, which is that way up, so the smooth side up, we'll get that nice and crispy first. We'll flip them over halfway through the cook. Alright, so get them all facing up the right way. And then once your oven's hot, they go into the oven and they're going to take half an hour. We're going to turn them halfway through, alright? Make sure once you've done that you wash your hands, because if you've been touching poultry, then you can make yourself really sick unless you wash your hands properly. Get that bit done and then we'll move on to the next bit. Next up, we're going to make the Spanish omelette, or the tortilla española, which means Spanish omelette in Spanish, right? So basically what you need to do is you're going to take a pan, get it onto a medium heat, and it does need to be medium because we don't really want to fry anything too hard, okay? Because what we'll end up with is the bottom of the omelette is going to be really sort of like overcooked and the top won't be cooked. So this is a slow cooked dish, right? So take an onion, take the top and bottom off. You probably only need half an onion. You don't want too big a pan for this as well, because the Spanish omelette needs to be nice and thick, right? So you've got 6 eggs, a pan that sort of size, 9 inches, probably enough, okay? All right, we're just going to slice that onion in half like that, take the skin off. And then we're just going to go, we're only going to use half an onion, okay? Just going to go straight along like that into strips, okay? Really simple. Like that. Good. Right, good glug of oil in your pan, about a tablespoon of oil, okay? You're going to get some natural sugars coming out of these onions, okay? And what you don't want is for them to start caramelising. Okay, we just want them to soften in that oil, so keep the heat at a medium, okay? We're going to go for a little pinch of salt in there, just to, as always, just to draw that moisture out of those onions. Alright, and then just keep those sort of ticking away whilst we move on to the potatoes, which I've left in the other room. 1 second. So, you probably need, I'm going to turn this down, see that's cooking too much, okay? I can hear it really sizzling. All we want is for them to just be sort of slowly ticking away in that pan, real slow, alright? Now, next, take the potato. I can't be bothered to peel it. If you can, go for it. You don't need to, alright? But what you do need to do is take a bit of time to slice them into what will be like crisps, alright? So real thin discs. You might only need 1 potato, depending on the size of your pan, okay? But the thinner you get these, the better they're going to be at the end, alright? So just take a bit of time to slice them. Get an adult to help you if it's a struggle, okay? Right, you're going to slice these into discs. And what we're going to do, we're going to start to sort of cook these. We're going to leave those little end bits out because they're really hard to cook and you're going to end up chopping your fingers off. Alright, get those into the pan. Alright, whoops. Get them moving around in the fat. Okay, I'm going to go for 1 more potato. This is like, instead, you're going to have this instead of having potatoes or rice or something. So you need to have a bit of potato in there, alright? And it's just going to cook real slow. So it ends off, okay, and then slice. And it's hard to say, everyone's pan's going to be slightly different size, everyone's potatoes are going to be a different size. So it's difficult to sort of be able to tell exactly how much you're going to need. I reckon that's probably going to be about enough for my pan. So you want the pan to look almost full, but not completely full. And I know that's a little bit vague, but I don't know what you're working with at home, yeah? And you've got to sort of be confident, yeah? Think about it. Is it fitting in the pan? If it's not fitting in the pan, then put some more in. Sorry, take some out. And if you haven't got enough in the pan, if it looks like it's lost in the pan, then get some more. It's really that simple. Alright, but you just want them on a slow tick. Alright, and what you're got to do, as you can see, I'm just like moving the discs around, making sure they're separated, make sure that oil gets on all of them, because they're just going to slowly cook away. Okay. And if you do need to turn it up and down, once the potatoes in, you could probably turn it up a little bit. And if they start to like brown, if you start to get some colour on them, then you're probably getting it too hot. Alright, you can just turn it down again. But let's get some bit of heat in that pan now. Just get them moving around. Okay. If you wanted to, you're worried about doing this bit, you could also slice them like this and boil them for a couple of minutes, dry them off, and then go in the pan. But I'm trying to reduce the numbers of pans that we use, and also frying them in some oil just gives them extra flavour, makes them kind of like chips. Good man, it's Friday, treat yourself. Right, pinch more salt. Okay, half a pinch more salt. Next, obviously, it's an omelette, you need eggs, yeah? So, 6 eggs. We're literally just going to crack those into a bowl. Okay, if you crack them straight in there, you're going to end up with like fried eggs knocking around, which isn't what we want, right? So get them into a bowl first. And 5, 1 more, and 6. Okay, so they are in a bowl. Looking for my fork. I'm going to go for a pinch of pepper. And the final pinch of salt. You can season everything a little bit all the way. It kind of gets into everything. Okay? If you want to, you can put a little bit of mixed herbs in there. I'm going to use the last of the jar. Just for a little bit of extra flavour. Right? Move back to your potatoes. Keep them moving. Because once these eggs go in, you're not going to be able to move them again. So you need to make sure that the ones that are on the bottom now get turned over. See, I'm getting some nice, you see, the nice coloration on those, okay? That's more than enough cooked on that potato. So you get the other ones that aren't cooked to the bottom. You just keep rotating them around, moving them around the pan until everything starts to cook. Okay? Keep going. Just going to keeping those moving. Right. So whilst they turn those over, just going to, with a fork, just whip up those eggs. Right, what you want to do is keep going until all the yolks are broken up and it all looks the same, okay? It still looks like some bits are more yellow than others and there's more bits that kind of more of the white, and keep going, right? Make sure all of the herbs and the pepper and everything's all fully mixed through. Okay, also by going round and round in a circle like this, you're getting air into it, you're going to make it lighter, which is what's nice about a Spanish omelette, nice and light. Okay, so lots of air bubbles on the top, that tells me it's aerated, it's done. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my potatoes. Right, we're getting some good colour on those now. A little bit. It's actually probably cooking far too hot for the eggs to go in at this stage. I'm just going to keep frying those potatoes. Okay, take a bit of time over it. Alright. Okay, and what you can do is whip one out, and if it's sort of half softened, because if you cut them thin enough, that's almost cooked. So it's time for me. They're tasty. Have a moment. Okay. So now I'm going to add my eggs. Before we leave it to settle, because once it settles, we don't touch it. Just going to make sure that those potatoes are all evenly spread. Okay, and then the egg is going to go into the omelette. Right, now this is where you turn your pan right down to the lowest heat you can. Okay, give it one last stir to make sure, hopefully you're using a non-stick pan, and if everything's kind of moving away from the sides, you're onto a winner. Okay, push all of those potatoes down into the egg, because if they're floating on the top, they're not going to cook anymore. If they're in that hot egg liquid, they're going to continue to cook whilst the egg solidifies. Alright, so that's just all inside the egg. It's on a low heat. I can pretty much forget about it. Only I'm going to keep an eye on it, right? Because I'm going to be standing right here. Whilst we wait for that, I'm going to move on to salsa. So I'm going to use the other half of this onion here. Still a bit of skin on that. You don't want skin in the salsa, so make sure you peel your onions. Okay, this time, now it's going to be tricky because I've sliced the top and bottom off, but I want very small bits of onion. You don't want massive chunks of onion in your salsa. So, slice it into strips. Okay, now if you need an adult to help, then go for it. There's no shame in that, alright? Don't lose your fingers. Okay, so into strips and then across. And when you slice one way and then the other on an onion, because of the layers in the onion, you end up with some nice, really small, diced bits, which are perfect for a salsa, because you just get a few little bits in each mouthful, which is what we want. Alright, so into a bowl goes the onion. Alright, so we've got our bowl there. Keep giving your omelette a little little spin around. That egg rolling around the outside. It's still very loose, it's got a while to go. That's fine then. Okay. Let's get our baby tomatoes. So I've got here baby plum tomatoes. You can use any kind of tomatoes you like, really, but most importantly, you need to make sure that they're sliced up really small. So little baby plum like tomatoes like this, they're so sweet, delicious, really fresh summer dish. Okay, so you want to just cut them into quarters, these little ones, right? So they're just little pieces of tomato. So I'm just going to work through those. But obviously if you've got big ones, then you just chop them up into really small bits. You can squeeze out some of the pips if you want, because they kind of tend to make it a little bit like wet and runny. So sometimes I like to chop them all up and then literally get it in my hands over the sink and just squeeze all of the juice out. So you could do that if you don't like the juiciness of the tomato and you get more of an intense kind of flavour. Okay, so just going to keep going on those tomatoes. It's a little bit to do, but it's all good because everything's cooking. We're going to go check on those wings in a minute, and I reckon they'll be ready for turning shortly. We'll get this salsa done and then I'll show you. So just going to keep slicing those up. So I probably shouldn't be doing this in real time, but hey ho, can see that it does take some time to cook these things. You can't just make it in 30 seconds. Right, so keep chopping those tomatoes. Lovely. There we go. We'll do a few more and then I'm going to stop because I don't want to bore you guys. I might as well get them done, hadn't I? I'm just trying to go really fast. You don't have to go as fast as me. Take your time because those wings ain't going to be cooked yet, and I can see now that this isn't cooked yet either. Alright, so it's just going to take some time. But using the knife, I can see that the edges are completely loose. So that will come out when the time comes. Worst comes to worst, if when everything's done and you're still waiting for this, you can finish it under the grill if you've got a grill. Okay, that's a good way to do it. Right? But like I say, low and slow on the worktop. Eventually, everything will cook. And it also, doing it low and slow like this, also allows time for those potatoes to continue to cook and be really soft. Okay, because there's nothing worse than a hard potato. It's horrible. Okay, so nearly done my tomatoes. Very nearly. A couple left. 4 more. Okay. My partner's about to come through the door. She's probably going to go, "Hi Adam!" And she won't know that I'm filming, so excuse me if she does. Any second now. Here we go. Alright, so all those tomatoes are now going to go into the bowl. I think she may have heard me. Into the bowl like so. Okay, next up we go for, can't find it, what have we done with it? Aha, there we are. A red chilli. Okay, so I'm going to slice the red chilli in half. I'm going to take all the seeds out. Alright, I'm going to move that bowl so in case you can't see what's going on. Hey, yeah.
Hi.
She's back. Right, take the seeds out, and then I'm going to run the knife lengthways down the chilli, so you end up with a long chilli that's cut into like little fingers like that. Okay, and same again there. Take your time. I know I'm going quickly. I do it all the time. You guys just take your time. Okay, and then just chop across to get some nice tiny little diced bits of chilli. And again, if you don't like it too hot, just use half. Okay, I'm going to go for quite a spicy one today because I can give my daughter just some hot on her own. Alright, so that's going to go into the bowl. Finally, well, not finally, but next up we have some fresh coriander. Alright, you can use the stalks and the leaves, the whole lot, but using the seesaw method, so take the ends off, just the ends, and then just backwards and forwards, so the knife doesn't need to leave the board. Chop very closely all the way down your coriander. Okay, keep going until it's all done. Any stalks that are knocking about, just get rid of them. Right, that goes into there. Okay, so I'm just going to scrape off those excess bits. Go off. I'll clean them up afterwards. Then we just need a pinch of salt and why not some pepper, as always. And then a good, maybe half a tablespoon of vinegar. Okay, that's just going to give it a nice bit of acidity. Okay, then we're just going to mix everything together. Okay, and you've got yourself a lovely fresh salsa. Really, really simple, really good for you. Goes with anything, goes with steak, goes with eggs, goes with, you know, fish, anything you want to cook, man. This little salsa is a bad boy. Alright, so salsa's done. The omelette is still cooking really slowly, that's fine. I'm going to have a look at these wings now. Let me bring them out to show you. Okay, so they're cooking really nicely. Bit of juice coming out of them. Okay, time to turn them over. So we're going to give those a flip. all the way, all of them. Just use something to flip them over. Okay, like so. And if you have them all the same way to start with, it's easy to see which ones you flipped and which ones you haven't. So I'm flipping them now to the underneath side. I like to call the underneath side facing upwards. Okay. You might want to flip these again towards the end, but they look good to me now. So they're going to go back in the oven. And then I'll report back in sort of 15 minutes when these are done. And that should be done then too. Cheers. Okay, so chicken wings are done. The omelette, I'm touching it. It's all hard, so that's cooked through. So I'm just going to serve it up. So you'll probably find the chicken wings might be a little bit stuck to the what's this called? Roasting tin. And the reason for that is that it's kind of, you get things sort of caramelized. That's a good sign. It means they're nicely cooked. All that flavour is sort of intensified. Just going to lift those out into a nice little serving bowl. Okay, so they're going to go into there. Just keep a few more left. Just use something to stop yourself from getting burnt. To get those in a bowl. And nearly there. And that's the chicken wings loaded up. Okay, I'm just going to move those to one side, this to one side. So the chicken wings are, look at those, man. They are so golden, delicious, look amazing. Okay, next up, got the omelette. So if you kind of give your pan a little shake, it should just slide out the pan like that. So easy. And then I would cut that maybe into 6, so and slice it straight down the middle. Now the potatoes are lovely and soft because I cooked it so slowly. Don't rush it, and you'll get the same results. Okay, slice through again. So we've got 6 little portions of your Spanish omelette, almost like a pizza. So you can take a slice out. Look at that. You can see the layers in there, potato and the onion, all soft and tasty. Okay, they can just go like that, and then we've got our salsa. And there we have a very, very quick and simple Spanish tapas. So we've got our paprika wings, we've got our tortilla española, and we've got a nice spicy tomato salsa. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week, for those of you who tune in who don't work with me normally, there's not going to be a cook along for you guys. But those of you who have a delivery every week, you're going to be getting a delicious pizza box from Dough and Oil in town, and they're going to send you instructions or maybe a video, we haven't decided yet, but you're going to be able to make yourself a restaurant grade pizza at home. Hope you enjoy it. If you've enjoyed it today, like, subscribe, tell your mates, all that jazz, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.